And normally I jump straight into the application that we're looking at. But I said Minecraft is a little bit different. So before we do, I've just got a couple more things that I want to get through. Today's session, I'm going to be loosely following the training summary that I've popped up on Edit. So I'll just put the link there if you want to have that. So again, before we dive in, just because there are some newbies around coding as well, I'm just going to touch a little bit on why we might use or why we might teach coding full stop, but also why we might use Minecraft for coding. So Minecraft is one of the most popular games in the world. So you might find that lots of your students are already familiar with Minecraft. So using Minecraft to teach coding is a nice next step and progression for them because they're already familiar with the Minecraft environment. Why do we teach coding? It fits into the Australian curriculum and also the SA curriculum under digital technologies. In the SA curriculum, it appears around year 3 in the dispositions around being creative and being resilient, in the capabilities around thinking technology and processes and production, and in the knowledge around thinking and making. And coding really fits into using computational thinking and design and all that debugging and revisiting and the steps that we need to logically take in order to create something. I'll send a copy of these slides in my follow-up email as well, so you don't need to take notes. How Minecraft can support us to teach that is that there is already a whole lot of built-in worlds in Minecraft that support the knowledge and building of students' knowledge around these areas. So you don't have to be an expert as a teacher in algorithms and coding and Python and all those things in order to teach those skills to your students. I've got one quick video.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason Lane and I'm a Minecraft Global Mentor from Villanova College in Australia.
Okay, so you've heard from there. I'll just stay in here rather than in the actual presentation. But we're going to actually start our session with this thing called the Hour of Code. Has anyone heard of the Hour of Code before? If you just give me a thumbs up if you have. A couple of people. It's an event that takes place every year in September. It's a global event, but of course you can do Hour of Code whenever it fits in with you and your program. I will just jump to my web browser for a moment. So Hour of Code is kind of pushed by this organisation called code.org, and they join with lots of different technology companies, and one of them is Microsoft to produce our Minecraft Hour of Codes. So again, I'll send this link out in the chat in a follow-up email after, but you can see here there's a few Hour of Codes that they're having a look at. There's information and resources that go with these, but we're going to jump right into Minecraft. We're going to find out how we can access them, and we're going to give one of them a little bit of a go. So with that, if you haven't already, if you can open up Minecraft, and I'm not sure if you can hear me and my computer still, because Minecraft has that nice music going along. I might just turn that off. Turn it down a bit for me. There we go. So if you can open up Minecraft and then just give me a thumbs up in in the chat or a virtual thumbs up once you've got that open. Perfect. It looks like most people have. Perfect. Okay, so Hour of Code is found under Play, and then in the library section. In computer science, used to be easier to find, but now it's here, and then Hour of Code. So there's all these lessons, and every year they bring out a new one. So we should see a new one come out in September, ready for Hour of Code. When they do release them, they often have play along sessions. So have a look out for those as well. The one I want us to go into to have a little look is the Hour of Code inclusion. So if you select that one, it gives you some information about it. You can get the lesson plan in here that will take you out to a website. You can assign or share it if you want to through Google Classroom or Class Teams, but I'm just going to click on Create World. Now, most of these Hour of Code ones are targeted at students who might not have ever played Minecraft before. So the first bit, if you're a total newbie, will help you get familiar with Minecraft as well as the coding aspect. So in here, we want to walk up with W, and then we want to just click right or right click on our mouse, and then we get some information. Now, everything in Minecraft that is in something called an NPC, which this book stand is, has this button here, which is our immersive reader. So if you do have students with literacy who struggle with literacy and might find this hard to read, they can always click on here. If I click there, it will load, and then it presents it a little bit easier for students to read, and also you can have it read out to you as well. But we read through this, we get some more information, and then we're going to read it all. And when we've finished, you can see that's disappeared. Again, if I haven't used Minecraft before, I'm going to use the W key to move forward, and I've got this other NPC player, non-playing character. I'm going to right click on there again and get some more information. So you can see it should be quite easy for students to move through by themselves. So again, I'm going to help. Here we want to choose. Now, if you're new to coding, block coding is the easiest one to do. If you're that Python coder, you might want to try it in Python, but I'm going to select blocks. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt and Mark, for popping that in the chat. Hopefully you're there now. Okay, so we can close that. And you can see there's some arrows here, so I know where I want to go, or here. So in Minecraft, there's things called villagers and illagers. Normally the illagers attack the villagers, but in this particular world, we want those two groups of people to work together. I'm just going to go into the villager world. Hopefully. Maybe. I might have to do something else first. Would help if I read it. Move the agent 4 spaces forward to the gold block, press C or tap the agent icon. So let's close that. I have to do some coding, so I'm going to tap C on my keyboard, and then I've got this on start, and I've got this. So I'm going to drag my block in, and I think I needed to move it forward by 4 blocks, so let's try that. And then click on play. There he is. Excellent. close. So there is my agent, and now hopefully we can go in. We might have to just read what he says. The agent has a gift for you. Press C or tap the agent icon to open the coding window. Then you can plant the sapling. So I'm going to click C again. We want to get the gift. I've got now in my inventory, you can see down the bottom of the screen in space number 1, I've got that sapling, which is a seed, and I'm going to walk forward with my W and plant that seed. I would read it, but in the interest of time, we're going to just pretend that we've read it. And now hopefully, there we go, I can go on. Now, we could spend the whole hour doing this hour of code, but we won't because there's lots of things that we need to look at. But as you can see, these ones are quite guided, and even if I forgot to read it all, I couldn't do anything until I went back and read the instructions, pressed my C, and then figured out the code. Whenever students see this, that means that they've got some instructions. And this particular one here, you need to do some coding to build a raft and get some fish or things like that. But as you can see, a really engaging way to get students to start doing that block coding. Now, we're going to jump out of this because I'm going to now show you some other built-in worlds. So to escape a world in Minecraft, if you've never played Minecraft before, it's escape on my keyboard. In this particular one, because it is an hour of code, instead of exit, I've got finished. So I'm just going to click on there. Regardless of whether students have finished it or not, they can download the certificate, but I'm just going to exit my lesson. And then that's going to bring me back to my home screen. Okay. So hopefully, if you can just give me a thumbs up again when you're back out of that hour of code world and back into the home screen and the library. Perfect. Okay, so I am going to go one back just so I'm on this home screen again because I saw that someone missed it in the beginning. So to get to my libraries from this home screen, and sometimes this changes, but there is normally always a play button. I'm going to select play, and I want to go into library because that's where my pre-built worlds are going to exist. This time I'm going to go back into my computer science, and instead of this hour of code, there's all sorts of different ones that you can go in. So if you are starting off with block coding with your students, for instance, if you select block coding, you can see they're arranged in different year levels. And then there's normally a few worlds you can go into. And again, these are going to be like our hour of code worlds where they'll be stepping you through or stepping the students through doing little activities. We aren't going to go back in and do one of those because otherwise we're going to run out of time. But that is just a resource that you can use with your students. For example, if your students are great at block coding, but you want to move them into Python, you could get them to code with Python and use these worlds to support them before you let them loose to do their own coding. Right, now we are going to do some of our own coding now, and the easiest world to build in is the flat grass world, and hopefully I can find that in my starter worlds, and I think it's in build plates. There we go, blocks of grass. So this one is the easiest to start off with students because you don't have to worry about clearing a whole area to build those to build on. So click on blocks of grass and then create world. And again, if you can just give me a thumbs up when you're in the world, hopefully we're all on the same page. I'm just going to escape for a minute because I'm just going to move my teams over that side. Okay, so I'll go back. Let's save and exit, save and exit. So if we're on this home screen, to get to that flat blocks of world, we click on play. We're going to library. Starter worlds is the friendly one. And then we can go into these build plates. Now these have actually all been kind of selected for Minecraft education. So there's some really cool ones in here that you might want to explore a bit later, like there's the build blocks of concrete, which is separated into groups so you can have your students all build in the same world, but in confined spaces and things like that. But blocks of grass is the one that we want. And then once we've selected that, we want create world. Okay, so in the Aura Code tutorial, it told us what to do, but we can code outside of those tutorials. And the ease or the way we do it is we click or tap C on our keyboard. I'm just going to bring up, we want to select this make code. Now you'll note here it says Python notebooks until January 2026. So Minecraft has just had an update. There used to be Tinker as well, but they're moving everything towards make code. So if we click on make code, and my iPad has loaded, so I'll just bring that up. So if your students are using iPads, there is no C to press, but you can see up the top here, there's these three icons, and it's that little agent icon that you need to click. And then you've got the same screen as a laptop, and you can do your code builder there. My camera's struggling with the resolution, but you can see it's exactly the same as what you can see on your laptop as well. Okay, so we're in Make Code. Make Code is Microsoft's coding website. You don't have to use Make Code with Minecraft. You can do all sorts of things with microbits and coding game machines and everything in Make Code, but we're using it built into Minecraft. There are lots of tutorials in here. So you could direct your students to follow a tutorial. When you do, don't do this because we won't do one, but I'm just going to click in to show you what it's like. You can select what type of coding you're going to use. And you can see up here it's got the instructions. So it's color coded. So blue means it's going to be something in here. And you can go through and it's got the instructions. Again, it will read it out to you or your students if they have trouble accessing the language. And there's also hints as well. So again, a really good place to start. I am, though, just going to, go back to home. And what I want you guys to do is to click on New Project. So we're going to build a couple of projects from scratch. This one is just going to plant daisies when we walk. So I'm just going to call this Daisy Walk. And I'm going to click on Create. And then this now, because I haven't gone into a tutorial, you can see it shows me all the different types of blocks that I can access. So we've got the workspace where we can drag the blocks. We've got the commands where we can select things from. So you can see they're color coded. And then down here, once we've placed something, we've got the play button. The first thing we're going to use is the on start. So if there's more things on here than you need, you can just click, drag and drop over to our side menu, and then it goes in the bin. So this first one is when I walk around, I want to plant some daisies or some flowers. So that means it's me doing the action. So I'm going to use player. And then I want I want on player walk. So let's get rid of the start. And then I'm going to be placing some blocks. So at the moment it's blocks of grass, which isn't very interesting. So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to search for Daisy. Now, these are all 0, 0, 0. So that means that it's going to place that Daisy block right at my player's feet. If I change the middle one, it's going to do an up elevation. If I change this one, it's going to do a left or a right elevation. So let's press play. Here I am. My agent is next to me. That's what that funny thing is. And now if I'm going to press W on my keyboard, let's turn around. And you can see I've got a whole lot of daisies behind me. My agent is waiting patiently there. So hopefully you can give me a thumbs up if you've managed to do some daisies. Excellent. Now, I don't want daisies appearing after me all the time, so I'm going to press C and just get rid of that code. And I'm just going to walk over here because I now want to do something else. Hopefully, I didn't see everyone's thumbs up, but hopefully most people managed that. So I'm going to go back now, and one thing that Minecraft is famous for is these things called mobs. So in Minecraft, any animal, whether it's a normal thing that you find in the real world, like a chicken, or whether it's a Minecraft creature like a creeper, is a mob, and they're spawned from these eggs. So I'm going to press C again. And this time again, it's when I walk, I want this to happen. So on player walk. And this time, instead of blocks, I want these mobs. So I'm going to spawn an animal. And this time I want it to come from the sky. At the moment, the default is that chicken and egg, but you can choose anything, including zombies and whatnot. Let's do bees. And again, if I press play now, and I do some walking and I look up, you can see I've got a whole lot of bees. So hopefully now everyone has done the first two lots of codes. Again, if you can just give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Okay, so spawning things or doing things when we walk, great, but not that efficient. My agent here, so whenever I open code, this agent appears. And he can actually do lots of work for me. So after I've done that coding for me, the next kind of step is to make my agent do some work. So again, I'm going to select C. I'm going to get rid of this code here. And I'm going to have a look at what's under agent. So all of these, I need something happening to make that happen. So I just go to basic. And a nice thing about Minecraft is you've got these chat commands. So when I'm in the game, I can open up the chat and then I can type things, which means that I could have several different programs running with different chat commands. So I'm going to choose this on chat command. I'm going to change that jump to build. And now I'm going to get my agent to do some building for me. So first of all, if I get my agent to build here, he might run into trouble because there's all those flowers there and he might have trouble placing blocks when there's flowers. So I'm going to get him to teleport to where I am. Oops. And then I am going to get him to place on move. So that means when he walks around, he's going to place something. And then I'm going to get him to move around. So let's get him to move forward. And we change that to 4. Let's get him to then turn. And maybe we want him to build a square. So for that, we could copy this code 4 times, but because we want to be effective and efficient, we're going to introduce something called a loop. And I can slot that in around the bit I want him to repeat. And it just happens to be 4 times, which is great for a square, but you can double click and change that number as well. Now, if I press play now, I don't think my agent is going to do much because at the moment I don't think he's got any blocks, but let's have a look. So I press play. I'm going to move out of the way here. And then to get my chat up, I'm going to press T. And then what I put in my code was build. So I'm going to type in build and press that. And you see he's moving around very nicely, but I'm getting all these errors because he's trying to place a block and he doesn't have any blocks. So if that happens to your students as well, you need to actually give your agent some blocks to build with. So at the moment, I don't have anything in my inventory and neither does my agent. So first of all, I need to give myself something. So I'm going to press E on my keyboard to get my inventory. And then I'm just going to use oak planks. So I'm clicking there and dragging it in. And then I need to make sure my agent has something. So I'm going to just walk a bit closer. And when I'll do it again, when I right click on my agent, it brings up my agent's inventory and my inventory. Now, when we use that on walk place, what it's going to place is what is in this top box in the agent's inventory. So I'm going to drag those oak planks up there. And now my agent has something to build with. Has everybody followed that okay, or do you want me to show you one more time. Okay, I'm not sure because I got some thumbs up. So maybe just pop in the chat if you didn't follow that. But I'm just going to move out the way. I'm going to press T on my keyboard. This time I'm going to type build. And when I do, oh, it couldn't place it because I was in the way. So let's move out of the way. But there he is. And he just couldn't complete that because I was in the way. So I'll show you one more time about that inventory just in case. I'm pressing E on my keyboard to get my inventory up. I'm putting some things into my inventory by clicking and dragging. I'm going to right click on my agent, and then whatever I place in the top right box, my agent is going to use. Whoops. And then I'm going to move out the way, do T for chat, type in build, and move out the way. And there he is. We've still got that problem with me being in the way. Okay, hopefully you managed to do that. Now I've got a bit of a problem for you to try and solve yourself. So again, with chat, first thing we need to solve is so that he places a brick. So you might want to look at adding something in there so that he moves out the way and you don't get in the way. But the other thing I'd like you to try and do is build a bit of a tower. So I'm going to give you, let's say, 5 minutes. So at 4:16, to have a go at using probably the agent code to build a tower, and then I'll call us back in, and we can see how we can take some screenshots so we can share them with everyone. So have a go. I'm not going to do anything on my screen, and we see how people go, and you've got 5 minutes. So what I've asked people to do is try and build a tower. So hopefully you got this basic code, which is building a square. But what could we add? So mainly looking at the agent, and what could we add in order to make this a tower that's going to be going up rather than just a square on the ground. For instance, when I teleport, I might want to move forward one before I start doing that placing. This is on the bottom. So I might, after I've done that, oops, I might want to move the agent again. And you can see here I've got some different options. So I could move him up by 1. And then that will repeat only 4 times. And if I did that up by 1, then it would look a bit funny. So that might have to come out of there. And then I might maybe have to put in another loop so that this is going to try and build a tower. So I can't remember if my code is going to be right or is going to build the tower, or what type of tower I'm going to build. I think I have to move him a bit more. I think it might be a zigzag, but that's my attempt. I'm going to press play. I'm going to move over here. So I've got a clear patch. Press T on my keyboard, type in build, and see what my agent is building now. He didn't have that error anymore. But yep, as I predicted, because I didn't get him to move over, my tower's going to be a bit wonky. So if I had more time, and this is what I'd be doing with my students as well, I'd be going back and looking at my code and looking at how I could troubleshoot so that my tower isn't a leaning tower of pizza, so that my tower is going straight up. Did anybody manage to make the tower go straight up? Did anyone do some debugging and troubleshooting? Okay, so it's hard for me to see. If I was a teacher, I could probably be walking around the room and having a look at what my students are doing. But so that's one way you can share students' work, having kind of like a gallery walk. When you do this, you'd want students to have the C open so that you can see what the code is as well as what it's produced. But that's all very well if I'm in the class with my students. What if I want them to build something and then show me the code and submit it as an assignment, for example? There are a few things that you can do. You can, like I have done here, and I want you guys to do that now as well, if you can, is take a screenshot of your build and the code. Note that I positioned myself so that I can see the code on the left of my screen, so that when I open up my code builder, I've still got my build there, and then I've got my code here as well. So to take a screenshot on a Windows machine, you can press the Windows key Shift and S, and that will bring up my screenshot, so then I can just take a shot of that. And it will just save it in my pictures, or I can, I've just clicked on markup and share so that I can show you what it looks like. So if you can do that now, you should, if you click into the chat, just go Control V, and you should be able to post in that screenshot. Now, if you missed how to do that, I'll go for it one more time. On a Windows machine, if you press and hold the Windows key, the Shift and the S, it should bring up your screen cutting tool, your snippet, and then you can select what you want to cut, and then you should just be able to put in the chat and go Control V to post it into the chat, or you can save it. So excellent. I can see, Alex, your tower looks amazing. So you obviously didn't have that bug. Ryan, you've put your code in. That looks really complicated, but hopefully your tower looked really good as well. That is one way you can get students to share their work. Hopefully some other people manage to build as well. So another way you can get students to share their work is this share button here. Excellent, great. So when you click on here, make sure you give it a title. You might want your students to actually put in their name. just their first name, of course, and then you can copy that link. Or they can copy that link and then they can share that how they'd normally share work with you. If I go into my browser and paste that link, you can see here, I can now really clearly see their code. I can, hopefully this will work. It should simulate it, but it doesn't look like it's going to work for me today. But I can also edit it if I needed to edit it. But that allows me to look at it a bit closer rather than just relying on the screenshot. You didn't get it, but that's the whole thing about coding. If you didn't get it, it's about going back and looking at that block code and seeing what things you might need to change in order to change your code and improve it. So that's the whole thing about coding and computational thinking. And that's why resilience is one of the things that we build when we look at coding. It's about starting with something, knowing what you want to get to, and then changing the code until you get there. So it's fine if you didn't get it the first way. Okay, so you can share it there. You could, as Ryan did, just get the students to take a screenshot of their code. The students can export their world, but the code doesn't come with the export. So you can, and we will do that. We're going to just save this project first so I don't lose my code. So it's saving here as a Minecraft world. Let's just save it there. So I've just told you the code doesn't export. It might not be true, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't export. But so I'd want a screenshot. I'd want to share that link. But if I wanted then to go in and be able to see what the student has built in their Minecraft world, or get them to do a screen recording. So I've also, you can see I've got this snipping tool down here, and I could get my students to do a screen recording and do a walkthrough of their world. But if not, when I save and exit, this time instead of going to library, I'm going to my worlds. There's that blocks of grass you can see that I just built. And if I click into there, I'll go back one, go to manage and go to export, blocks of grass. I might again make sure my students put their name in, otherwise I have 30 blocks of grass worlds to look at, and save, and then again they can put that in a Classroom or a Google Classroom for me to have a look at. So that's exporting as well as saving my code. Okay. Right. Where did you go to see their work again? So let's just double check. No, I can't because I can't log in as someone else at the moment. But back in the world where I was, where I built that code, sorry. If the student wants to share their code with you, if I go C to bring up Coder, there is my save code here. It's that share button there, share project. And then that's the code they've got to copy and then share with you. So they need to put it in an email or in Class Teams or in Google Classroom. Oh, that one looks great, Matt. Not a tower as such, going straight up. That's definitely something to do some troubleshooting on. Okay, so hopefully that has answered Sabrina's question. Okay, not much time left. We've done all the coding as such that I wanted us to do today. There was some people that were really familiar with coding and wanted maybe to use Minecraft for JavaScript or Python. So up the top here, you can see there's the JS for JavaScript and there's also Python. So I can build this in block code. And then if I switch to JavaScript, what it's going to do is it's going to convert what I've written into JavaScript. So then my students could go in and change that directly. Don't want to change that one, but they could change that directly in the JavaScript code. And they can still use these code chunks to bring them out as well. So it's kind of a nice segue between the block code, which is visual coding language, and then moving towards the language where I have to type. It's kind of a nice segue. It's the same with Python. If I switch to Python, it's going to translate what I had in block code into Python. And again, I can move those codes. Oops, I'm still in JavaScript. Come on, Python. Oh, no, am I in Python? No, I am in Python, sorry. I can use those blocks without having to know how to write it if I need that extra support, and place them in, or I can go ahead and type my code directly in there. So a really nice segue between the block code and then those two language-rich coding languages rather than the visual coding. Okay, to finish off in the last couple of minutes, just a quick look at this. So this is the computer science progression within Minecraft. You can see that if you were looking at those lower primary worlds that we ducked into earlier on, these are the concepts that you're looking at. And you can see that it builds up as you get into upper secondary. Then the last couple of things in my last minute is a few things that you might want to look at to take your learning a little bit further. So if you haven't already explored this website, the Minecraft education website has got lots and lots of resources. The computer science page, which I'll pop in as well, has all the information about R of Code and also the curriculum. Note that this is US based, so you do have to do a bit of work translating that into Australian and South Australian curriculum. The other nice thing, because Minecraft education is Microsoft, there are some really nice courses on the Microsoft Learn website. The one that would be interesting for you guys today, focusing on coding, is there's a Block Coding Academy, the Hour of Code, and then also the Python Academy. So I highly recommend, if you are thinking of using these with your student and you need more than I've given you today, that you give these ones a go. If you do log into the Microsoft Learn website, you will also get a certificate so that you can record that for the teachers' reg, etc. There's also an esports one, which is really cool if you're running a Minecraft education club for students and things like that. The last couple of links I'm going to put in there is so if you do any training on the Microsoft Learn website, if you sign in, you can say I'm not signed in here, but you do get a certificate for the training. So any of these courses, you can get a certificate for. So our Technology and Platform Adoption Team YouTube channel, I don't know that it has any Minecraft coding videos as such, but it does have some Minecraft videos. So if you're a total newbie, you might find something that is helpful there. And then the last thing for me to talk about is our digital skills dashboard on Plink. If you're into coding and Minecraft, we also do have a Redstone, Minecraft Redstone webinar coming up next term as well. But if you're looking for anything to do with digital skills, please check out the digital skills dashboard. And then I've gone 2 minutes over, but if you do have a little bit of time now, we love feedback. So I'd be very grateful if you could spend a minute giving us feedback. And thanks for joining us, and hopefully you found that useful and you can start coding with your students.